the Oval is back in the building. Yes, they're back. And of course, let's just go ahead and get started with the review. I'll run my mouth later. Season 4 opened up where they left off with Grip and Priscilla and Alan standing in his living room. So they're at a standoff. And, of course, as I've always said, when the Oval characters get into a standoff, they want to talk. Everybody start talking. Like nobody's shooting. They're just aiming and talking, right? So their conversation entailed Grip telling her that he didn't come over to kill them. He just came over to talk and to have coffee, right? So Priscilla, being the smart cookie that she is, she was talking to him, and she got him to put his gun down. And when he put his gun down, that's when he grabbed Alan and put a knife to his neck. And then, somehow they fell over the balcony and and that was the end of that part. And, Priscilla went down to get Alan and then they left. But let me just point this part out before I move on to the next scene, because the way that Priscilla ran down the stairs, it was so dramatic, right? And the music that was playing in the background. And Taja is a great person, you guys. She's such a talented actress. Like, she's very talented. She's very relatable. She actually did a live yesterday, and if you caught it, that was great. I think she did 2 of them, and I caught the first one. So if you missed that, I'll leave it linked below, and just check her out. Check out her page. She's got, a couple of businesses going. She's got the Oval going, other projects, and she's a great person all around that I've witnessed. So check out the interview and go support her and her page and all of her business endeavors, and let's get behind her because she's really good at what she does. Okay, all right, next scene. And in this next scene, guys, at the very, very beginning, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 seconds into the scene, and up pops Nancy like she's back in 1927 slave movie. Hey, Master President, it's me. It's Nancy. Oh my gosh, I hated Hunter in this moment. Like, I don't like his character anyway, and of course, he's doing a great job. But this part, right, it was so condescending. Okay, of course, she's excited because the president is in her home, right? So she doesn't know Hunter like we know Hunter. So I had to forgive that mentality that she's in right now. I didn't like this the first couple of seconds of this scene. And, she's like, hi, I'm Richard's wife. And then Hunter goes, oh, the butler? Like, are you serious? Richard is more than the butler, sir. He's the head butler. Okay. And besides the fact that Nancy was head over heels with having the president standing in her living room and the 3 blind mice chilling over here on the couch, there's nothing really much to take away other than the fact that this man will move heaven and earth for some brown cooch, won't he? And he told Sharon that 20 years from now that she was going to be just like Nancy because she didn't take the money and the cars that he offered her. And as we can see, our president has not grown at all. He's still the same old Hunter that he's always been. And as he was leaving, guess who he ran into? Miss Jody. Miss Jody is back on the scene, and she let him know exactly how she felt about him. She's not one of his favorite people, I can tell you that. And while he's over there flirting with her, she wants to flirt with Alonzo. Talking about giving him some brown meat. So I'm done. Then we move on to Bobby and Kyle. And, they're in yet another shootout, but he wanted Bobby to open the door and to handle him one-on-one. So Bobby opened the door and then he tied him up, blindfolded him. And then they had a lot of, sexual connotation, a lot of sexual kinky jokes thrown around. Well, of course, mostly coming from Kyle. There wasn't a whole lot in this one other than the fact that Bobby kept talking in third person as if he's not talking about himself. And in our next scene, we see that Donald nor Lily died in their shootout. They were saved by the guards who finally came to rescue them. And Donald doesn't want to go to the hospital. He said that he wants the doctor to come to them. And he told the guards to not let Lily leave. And this was really a crazy scene because he was cussing her out. He was calling her all kinds of B words and she was spitting at him. It was just kind of disgusting, but that's what they do. And it's still left to question who actually shot Lily. That never came up. Then we cut back to Hunter and Alonzo. I don't know, these scenes were really, really short. But anyway, we cut to Alonzo and Hunter. They're in the car, and Alonzo thinks that they're, of course, headed back to the White House. But Hunter wants to go and find the Coco and a brown hood girl instead. And Alonzo doesn't want to go. He wants to go back to the White House. And Hunter is asking him, what type of agent do you really want to be? Do you want to be regular schmegula, ordinary agent, or do you want to be one who gets ish done? And then, he's like, well, I want to be the one to get ish done. I'm not a punk, So he told Alonzo to take him to get him a big, beautiful black girl, and they're going to go to the hotel and have some fun. I'm sure that's going to be interesting. But just on a side note here, I'm going to need Hunter to find another word, some fresh dialect for these hood girls that he wants to hook up with, right? Because they're, I'm sure, more than that. It's just the way that he talks about them is very condescending. And I don't know, it's just, we've got to change this narrative, guys, period. Then we have the doctor here who came in to talk to Victoria, and I thought that they talked to her at the hospital, but this is another doctor, I think. I'm not sure. White House doctor, who knows? But anyway, it's another doctor, and he's there to, just talk to her about, the autopsy and what was going on. But of course, she didn't want them to do an autopsy, especially not so soon, right? Because he just passed away, quote unquote. And he was like, well, everybody at the White House has to get one. It's customary, that's what we do. But she told him because of their religion that she wants to have him cremated. Then he went on to tell her that it's a good thing that Jason died the way that he did because he was suffering from some form of cancer and he wouldn't be here long anyway. So yeah, she wants to make sure that Jason is dead by cremating him, all so that she can get away with her evil doings. When Hunter was there in the house, nobody had anything to say. Well, nobody except Sharon, that is. She was very vocal about what she was feeling, right? But Kareem didn't say anything. But when Hunter left, he was talking again. So he took all of his anger out on Dale. And of course, Mama Sharon had to step in to save him and protect him from big bad Kareem. She made him apologize. And I guess Barry's still upstairs from last season because he didn't come down at all. Richard finally made it to St. Rhodes, and Max had to fill him in on the who, what, where, when, and why. He also let him know that Bobby shot Kyle. So once Richard got in to see Sam, they were rushing him in for surgery. Well, they were about to take him into surgery. And I'm sitting here like, he been there for what, 3 months? And now they all of a sudden want to do surgery. But it's been months for us, but it's the same day for them, right? Okay, I'm going to try to get through this review without any more giggles. I don't know why I have the giggles today. So because he was about to go into surgery, he had to tell Richard what the deal was pretty quickly. And he had to kind of talk in code. He told him that he had to pick up a package from this unknown address, right? So, and Richard was looking at him like, a package? Huh? What? Okay. Well, then Sam gave him the code of Ferris wheel. And then he also mentioned Priscilla too and told him, not to tell anybody and, just all the things that you say before you go under, right? So Richard agreed, and then it went to the next scene. So Alan wants to know how Priscilla knew everything. She knew that Grip was going to show up at his apartment, right? And we know that she can't tell Alan that her and Richard are with the CIA. And she's trying to reach Sam. She's trying to reach the vice president because, they all got to go to this meeting. But they don't pick up. And because she wouldn't tell Alan what was going on, he got a bit anxious. So Max gave Bobby a call while he was in the cell with Killer Kyle. And he wanted to let Bobby know that he was on his way to, wrap his hands around Kyle's neck. Last season, Max had it in for Kyle, and here is the opportunity for him to do just that. Kyle advised Bobby to stop trying to fight that Hunter machine. He wants him to give up, but that's the last thing that they're going to do. So then we cut back to Donald and Lily, where Lily is screaming like she's losing her mind, literally. And Grip had to break the news to Donald that Priscilla and Alan got away. So Donald wants him to stab himself in the head. Just take yourself out, bro. You're worthless. You're useless to me. You couldn't complete the assignment, so you got to go. And I'm really with Donald on the fact that Lily needs to shut up. Girl, shut, please. So Priscilla made it to Nancy's house, her and Alan, and Nancy's trying to reach Richard. You know, they all have to go to this meeting, right? But Richard can't go home because he's on a mission for Sam. He made it to the address that Sam gave to him. And I'm assuming he gave that Ferris wheel code to the guy standing there with the gun, because that was the magic word for him to come right on in. Then Richard enters the room. He asks the guy, hey, I know him. Is that the president's son? And there lies Jason. Alive. He's alive. And that ended the scene. Thank you for joining me, you guys. Thanks so much for listening and tuning in to Ruthless TV. If you're a fan of The Oval, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. You know I'd appreciate it. Thanks once again for joining me, you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.